Something fishy is going on in Congress, and the Schumer Rounds Amendment may be in peril. We have that and a whole lot more to go over today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, please share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, there's a lot of concern lately that the Schumer Rounds Amendment, which may allow Congress potentially, theoretically, to actually get their hands on a freaking UFO and maybe even show it to the public, who knows, that may be in peril. And I don't have any hard information on that yet. So I'm not going to say that it's one way or the other until I hear Tim or somebody come out saying it's a dead goose. But here's what Tim says about he says something fishy is going on in Speaker McCarthy's Capitol. After learning of Askapol's exclusive reporting yesterday that UAPs have not come up in recent conversations between House Intelligence Committee Ranking Member Jim Himes and Committee Chair Mike Turner, Burchett says that flatly contradicts what Speaker McCarthy and his lieutenants told him when they rebuffed the bipartisan request for a House Select UAP committee. It's very odd that they say that when I was told by the Speaker McCarthy that that was the reason why we couldn't have a select committee, because we stepped on their toes. Burchett exclusively tells Askapol. Okay, so what does it say on Askapol? Well, it goes on. It says, over Congress's August recess, Burchett was led to believe the opposition came from Intel Chair Mike Turner, and House Oversight Chair James Comer, who exclusively told Askapol last week, "I'm fine with the select committee." Yeah, he kept on saying, "I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that." Seemed a little defensive about that, which is interesting. Burchett has his theories on why GOP leaders are quietly trying to stifle all the UFO energy that's engulfed this Congress since a Chinese spy balloon invaded U.S. airspace in February. "I just think they don't want to address the UFO issue," Burchett bemoaned before being mobbed by the press corps. The war pimps at the Pentagon. Yeah, we need to make a drinking game over how often Tim says war pimps. The war pimps at the Pentagon got too much money and too much, and nobody's going to slap their fat hand until I come along, and I'm one of 435. I got to get somebody else. Got to get two of us up there. Burchett's usual UFO investigative partner, Anna Paulina Luna, is currently on maternity leave. Yeah, I tried to get access to the interview between Tim Burchett and Matt Laszlo, but I'm not a paying subscriber of Askapol, and I couldn't get in. But there you go. There are conflicting statements between the GOP leaders in Congress over UFOs, and there's different stories going around, and we don't know who's responsible for what at this point. But we know that our man, Tim Burchett, is caught right in the middle of it, and he is trying to get something done, but he is battling the swamp, and the swamp is not in favor of disclosure. What does that mean for the Schumer Rounds Amendment in future progress going forward? I don't know yet, and it's too early to tell. We're in the fog of war on this one, but there are some rumors going around that the Schumer Rounds Amendment, the UAP language, may not be included in the NDAA. Meanwhile, Ross Coulthart is tweeting, the U.S. Air Force has reported a mysterious Gulf of Mexico incident where a USAF pilot reported his fighter's sensor systems malfunctioned as he approached a UFO. It was the same incident reported to Representative Matt Gaetz, raised in the recent congressional hearing. And the article's on Liberation Times. Here we go. I'm not going to read the whole article. The Department of Defense has officially confirmed to Liberation Times that the U.S. Air Force has submitted a report about an incident involving an unknown object that occurred earlier this year to the UAP office, known as Arrow. The incident centered around a USAF pilot stationed at Florida's Eglin Air Force Base whose sensor systems suddenly malfunctioned as his aircraft approached a UAP over the Gulf of Mexico, sparked concern. Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz, who had been alerted and briefed on the incident, addressed it during the congressional UAP hearing. One of the pilots goes to check out that diamond formation viewed on radar and sees a large floating, what I can only describe as an orb. Again, like I said, not have any human capability that I am aware of. And when he approached, he said that his radar went down. He said that his FLIR, his infrared camera system, malfunctioned and that he had to manually take this image from one of the lenses. And Susan Goff did indeed confirm that Matt Gaetz did have this meeting and did get access to this information. Meanwhile, Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina Luna were not given access. The reason cited by the DoD was that Representatives Luna and Burchett were not members of either the Intelligence or Armed Services Committee. So again, we can kind of see the shape of the control group, or at least who has access to what. The intelligence community is a huge player in all of this, so it makes sense that the intelligence committees would also be a factor. Anyway, I'm not going to read the full article, but I'll link to it in the description below. It is definitely interesting to get more confirmation about this very interesting incident that Matt Gaetz reported on months ago. Meanwhile, I definitely recommend you check out an excellent show of Christina Gomez's podcast, where she does a breakdown of an incident at Edwards Air Force Base with a UFO in the 1960s. I guess I had heard about this one before, but I really appreciated her going through it. And I got a lot more information with her review, including the fact that there was a UFO officer present on the base, and that when people were reporting this and trying to find out what to do, they had to go through him. And even though this was clearly an anomalous object doing funky things, the UFO officer was telling them that it was a mundane object, and he was trying to debunk it. So are there still UFO officers at Edwards Air Force Base and other Air Force bases? Are they the party officials that are there to, toe the party line? I'm reminded of the political officers aboard, Soviet submarines back in the day. If the captain wanted to do something that wasn't approved by the party official could actually outrank the captain. So it's really interesting. We have these UFO officers, or at least we did back in the 1960s. And even at the time, they were trying to suppress this information, even among fellow Air Force officers. I would love to know if those UFO officers are still around. But yeah, guys, I mean, the military knows about this stuff. It reminds me of those Navy reports where we have a UFO sighting and all the Navy personnel aboard the ship are told to go inside and stay inside until the UFO sighting is over. Meanwhile, here's another video that was released by the Border Control. And I didn't have time to go over it yesterday, but let's check it out now. It kind of looks like a dragon. It's not as fast as the dragon UAPs shared by Dr. Robert Shipe, and I've made a couple of interviews with him. Fascinating research that he's done with lots of video proof of these tiny objects buzzing aircraft. It doesn't even have to be an aircraft. Basically, any airborne object over 150 feet, these tiny little UFOs will buzz them. It's crazy. And so that's all there is to this video. But as you can see, there's a plane and there's a UFO that is right there that seems to be taking an interest in this plane. Seems to be even kind of following after the plane goes by. Really, really neat. Really neat. I don't think that's a drone, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. McWest probably thinks it's a raccoon. Maybe it's a raccoon. But despite whatever shenanigans might be going down in Washington, D.C. right now, whatever the control group may be up to trying to suppress this movement, Jeremy Corbell reassures us that there is an army of whistleblowers waiting to come out.
Or whistleblowers coming forward. Do you think with them watching how David Grush has been treated, will it take sort of stricter legislation and more whistleblower protections for that to happen? Or are we on the cusp of seeing them come forward, no matter what happens?
Okay, I'm going to parse my words here just because, there's something about your confidentiality when you talk to people in confidence, and then like withholding. I withhold nothing if I can help it, but confidentiality I take very seriously. That's why people talk with you. What I can say is that, and this is from direct personal firsthand knowledge, is that we have a freaking army of what you'd call whistleblowers, people with direct firsthand knowledge and hands-on experience with these programs or being active participants in these programs in a variety of ways, from administrative down to physical hardware, working on what is assumed to be non-human intelligence hardware, mechanisms, machines, full craft.
So there you go. Jeremy Corbell says that even if the Schumer-Rounds amendment is messed with, the whistleblower protections will remain. And there is an army of UFO whistleblowers waiting in the wings to come forward. So I hope that's true. I hope they do come forward. I know it takes a lot of courage and conviction to do so, and I can only salute you guys and encourage you to disclose information that could really change the world. But I do fully understand that that is asking a lot, and that not everybody can do what David Grush can do. But I sincerely hope that more people take up that challenge and do come forward into the light and bring this information into the light, because that's where it belongs. There you go, guys. There's the news for today. There's chaos over UFOs in D.C. We don't know how it's going to shake out yet. There are some disturbing signs, but like Jeremy says, there are some encouraging signs as well. And we've got new UFO videos released by the Border Control. It's a really, really interesting time. Well, why are they releasing those videos now when there's all this chaos in Washington over UFOs? Is that somebody trying to put pressure on DC to do the right thing? Man, I hope so. I hope that's what's going down. And if so, I hope they take heed. But let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. And join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars. I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Oh, and see the link below if that's what you want to do. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.